You kind of are, I bet.
Okay, we are live and live streamed, so we're ready to start. So Lauren isn't going to be here tonight, and I haven't heard from Carrie. Jamie is joining us via Zoom.
Oh, great.
He is there. And our first matter of business on this agenda is approval of the February 22nd, 2023 meeting minutes. I don't know if you all had a chance to look them over, and if somebody would just make a motion to approve, and then a second, and then we can all vote.
A motion to approve. A second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. The next business is looking at the revised logo that the two students, so when I reached out to Mrs. Carmack, she told me that those students weren't in the same class, so she had to arrange time during Bulldog time for them to work on it. They did actually only give us one merged logo, and I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at it, but I have it on here. I can try to pull it up on the screen if you would like me to.
I personally think it looks amazing.
I do too. I like it.
I really like it.
Okay,
To me, for me, they checked all the boxes. That's me.
all right. That is lovely. Do you guys want to select that one?
I like this.
You want to go ahead and pull it up on the screen?
Oh goodness, Jamie, I'm not very prepared, but I'm gonna try for you.
I have all the confidence in the world. You got this.
Okay, I have to log into my. Yeah. Don't have too much confidence in me.
You'll do great.
Code because we're super secure around here.
Great.
Okay. Now I have to figure out how to share my screen so that he can see it.
So Sheila, you're going to want to Alt Tab.
On Zoom, yeah.
Alt tab.
Yep. And then do it until you get to your Zoom meeting.
Keep alt tabbing.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
I think that's back to. Let me see.
Or alternatively, you can just use your mouse to go down to your Zoom icon.
I feel like I'm on. Okay, I see this. There you are, Ryan.
Okay. And then go down to share screen in the middle.
And then I pick
And you can just share your screen.
There you go.
Okay, Jamie, you were right. I did it. But it took me a long time.
You got to stop doubting yourself. Come on now.
I wouldn't have been able to get there if it hadn't been for Ryan's pro tips.
I think it looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It looks really good.
Okay, so does somebody want to make a motion and a second?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, and all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Probably should have asked that about the minutes too. Okay, well, look, we got 2 things approved and done. So the next item is finalizing the recommended community survey questions. So Marissa sent me some amended questions, and I don't know if you all had a chance to look at them, or if you have any comments, or I think one of the things that I was wondering is it says explain your answer, and I was wondering if asking and why would be softer than explain your answer, but that's just semantics.
I mean, and I can see where that can go either way, Sheila, and I'd be open to everyone else's comments in regards to the and why versus explain your answer. I think hers, she's not on the call. She has Girl Scout duties tonight, so you get me. But just giving those who take the survey an opportunity to explain. I can go either way with it. It's an easy edit. If it's something that we're all comfortable with changing it, I'm open to that suggestion from others as well.
I'm either one.
I'm either one. Doesn't matter.
We can read too much into it. I mean, if they don't explain, they don't explain.
You're right.
I'm an overthinker, so I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and I'm not offended by you guys not agreeing with me, please. Not at all.
I think some of it's the function of the Google survey, right? Like, it's hard to, you can't say, and why, like at the
end.
the type of this 1 through 5 rating is a setting that goes along with the question. You can't have that plus a
Right.
short answer why. So some of that's like the functionality of the Google survey.
Okay.
I mean, you want to soften it, but we've explained. You could say, please explain.
Now I'm about to say we can add the word please.
I know that one, please and thank you. No, please explain your answer.
You could say elaborate.
That's what I
That
was
feels
thinking.
softer.
Would you like to elaborate? But I don't want to get too fancy either.
I was about to say we can wordsmith this thing to death
Yeah,
tonight.
I kind of like please explain,
Yeah,
but
I
that's
think
just me.
just keep it simple.
We can add the word please explain and soften it up that way.
Yeah.
Please explain.
Thanks for kind of revamping these questions. They looked good. I only noticed one tiny little thing on the last page. So it's like the third to last thing. It says, what would you like to see a change in the Kearney community? I think we don't need that, right? What would you
Say it
like
one
to
more
see
time.
change? Okay, so the third from last question,
Okay.
what would you like to see change in the Kearney community?
Mhm.
I think that A just accidentally got in there, right? What shouldn't it just be, what would you like to see change in the Kearney community?
Okay. That could have been just a typo on her. So
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate it.
And then the next question after that, any additional comments you would like to add about this form? We want comments about the form or about this topic?
Yeah.
I think we could, I'd be open to suggestions as to what we'd wanted to say, but I think topic, survey, any additional questions pertaining to the survey? I don't know. I'm open to other thoughts, possibly.
I think I like the word survey better myself. That's just me.
But again, why are we asking?
Or do we need to ask it?
What is the action step that might be taken based on the response that you would get from that? Are we asking people to respond to the survey itself, Or again, are we asking to provide additional input about this topic? Like I'm literally confused about the question.
So you're like, do we want feedback on the form, or do we want feedback about like inclusivity? Oh my goodness, inclusivity in Kearney. Is that what you mean? So you want maybe
Yes,
say any additional comments in regards or about, yeah.
And haven't we already asked that anyway by asking all the questions?
And I'm wondering, the question above that you were just referring to, what would you like to see change in the Kearney community? I'm thinking if they have anything,
It's gonna be,
they're gonna put it there. I don't know that you even
Right.
need that.
so maybe X out that any additional comments.
Okay, so, well, so you are just saying remove that question.
And maybe like maybe I would suggest maybe like an actionable question would be something. If what we're trying to do is ascertain, are we asking the right questions? Like that's a good question, right? To ask your community. Maybe that's what we're trying to ask. Like what have we not included in this survey? What kinds of questions have we not included in this survey that you believe we should have? Because that might drive future surveys. You see what I'm saying? Like that's something we can respond to with an action. You know.
I can see where that would open up some good, and that might come out also. We can change it. I like that. What other additional questions would you like to see posed in a survey? A lot of it can also come out in our town halls, conversations that we have as well, but I do think we can probably remove what's currently there, the additional comments regarding the form. We can remove that, but I do like, what other questions would you like to see posed in a survey form like this, or maybe? I do like that.
Or even if you wanted to make it more, if you wanted to make it broader beyond just the survey, you could word it, what questions do you have about inclusivity in Kearney or in our community or whatever? And then that gives you the leeway to then respond with, if you have a community forum or something along those lines, you can then have that as kind of a source of things you can address, right?
I like that.
Okay, so I'm typing as you speak. So therefore, what questions do you have about inclusivity about your community? Is that what you said? Did I hear you correctly? Or along?
Yeah,
Also,
that's my pitch.
how does everyone else feel about? I like it. I see where it can open up good dialogue and conversation. But other thoughts?
I just think that instead of saying your community, we either need to say our community or the Kearney community.
I like our community.
Yeah, I like our.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other changes that jumps out to anyone that we can make adjustments to? These are all easy changes, but. Okay.
I think it's great.
Okay, does anyone want to make a motion to adopt the recommended these community survey questions as changed?
I'll do that.
Okay.
So moved.
In a second,
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. And that was the real business we have. Now, Ryan is actually gonna design our webpage now that he has the information. We'll get from Jamie a link to the survey, and we'll make it live when we send out water bills later this month. Really, the question and we'll get paper surveys so that people can send them out. We'll ask the community groups like Kearney Enrichment Council and the Kearney Chamber of Commerce and the school district to all help us get our survey out. Ryan, can you tell me, we're not with the Google form and the link, can you remind me, like, we're gonna be linking directly to the survey? Is that real?
Yeah, most certainly.
Okay,
So what we'll need is whoever created the survey to provide me a link. And it's important with Google Forms that you make the link
Shareable.
shareable. Yes, thank you very much. With anyone who has the link.
okay. Jamie, do you have any questions about that?
No, I can, I was just trying to get the spelling of Ryan's last name real quick, so I can make sure. Maybe just, I guess, make sure I have his email and on the conclusion of the meeting, and we can most definitely share it that way.
Ray, would you help me with the QR code? Or Ryan, do you know how to do a QR code?
Yeah, I can do that.
Oh, okay. Well, look, I have two techies.
Definitely not a techie.
Okay, two with the times. Okay, and so, like, how long will we be collecting the survey results, and when would be a good time to know that we will have accumulated all those results to get back together, Jamie?
Well, I think I thought we discussed maybe 2-week window once the surveys go out to try to capture the full participants who's taken part in the survey. As they come in, we can start tallying information on the back end as we get them. Now, I think we last spoke in regards to, are we collectively wanting to do this as a group, or is this what you want us to do on our end? How do we want to tally that? Or we just want us to go ahead and try to capture the data and then share it alike? What's your all thoughts?
Well, if you could accumulate it, and then we'll have to have another meeting to kind of go through it for this committee to start planning next steps.
Okay.
What I think.
Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and on our end, we'll just accumulate it as it comes in. And then we can kind of put it in a more like a PowerPoint presentation and share it with the committee, align our next steps, what we feel is necessary, and then approach the community that way as far as setting dates.
Would it be okay if we left it open till April 10th when water bills are due? Because maybe somebody will look at their water bill when they go to pay it on April 10th and be like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Or is that too long?
Well, you said they went up the end of March, but you didn't say.
It's like around March 20th or 21st, I think.
It's also spring break week here in town.
Yeah.
We just kind of count that as gone in terms of correspondence at church anyway. A lot of times.
So how are we getting the qualifiable data, the open-ended responses? How will that be processed and populated?
Jamie, did you hear that?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. I mean, as it comes through, we're just gonna have to probably create a category for all open-end responses and just try to capture them that way and see if there's really no magic way to capture it that way other than that's gonna probably be the most legwork on our part is the additional responses, but that's probably what we'll have to do on our end.
Okay.
And if there's a way for us as a group to help do that, to kind of come up with themes, please don't hesitate to say it would be better for the group to go through and and touch all of those and see? I mean,
I think there could be opportunity, and there can be actually a good opportunity for us as a group to do it that way. But let's kind of see how the survey questions come in first, and then if we need to do that, then we can most definitely schedule time to discuss.
okay. So how long do you think how long would you like to kind of accumulate the survey data if we did a hard close at the end of day on April 10th?
If we end April 10th, I guess it's really going to depend on the survey responses that we get as well. The number of surveys, the participants, and all that. I mean, I think I don't want to have a long window from the end date to when we want to complete this task. So I do want to be realistic, but it's hard to be realistic when we don't know the number of participants of a survey as well. So I would be open to the committee's suggestions on what we would like to see, and then we can work collectively to make that happen. I mean, if we say, 2 weeks after we receive all the data, it may allow for stragglers unless we shut it off or whatnot to come in. But we can say, if we say a week and a half, I mean, I think that's a committee decision, but I don't want after the survey's completed, a lot of time to go from that point to the next point. So we understand that this is going to require some work. So if that means rolling up our sleeves and making it done within a window of 2 weeks at the most, then that's what it is. I'm not afraid of work, that's for sure. But I mean, I want to be realistic with what you all think too. So.
I just don't want to rush you and make you rush to do a bunch of work. So I want to be cognizant of that and your last.
No, I think if we would allow, I'll go out on the limb. My team might not like what I'll say, but they're not here on the call, so I guess they go with what I say. I think 2 weeks after the completion of the survey would probably allow enough time to capture it and also have any communications with the committee back and forth to put a product that we would all be, proud of as far as in the data that we're trying to get and put before the community of Kearney. So I would say 2 weeks after April 10th, we can set a time to where we can at least, let's say, have a draft to the committee. If we want to see it and then see what that looks like and feels like, and then we can then at that point schedule a date and time when we want the next steps as far as getting community dates in place that works, so we can start formulating what that's going to look like as well.
Okay, well, could we do that draft at a public meeting like this on
I think we probably should. Yeah.
the week of April 24th, but we can't do it on the 24th because we have court in this room. But that week we could do the 25th, the 26th, or the 28th.
Okay. You're talking about April 25th? Okay.
25th or 26th would be perfect, either one.
I'm free on either one of those too.
And we can zoom into those, right?
Yes, just
The-
reach out to me and
The
ask for a
25th
link.
won't
Okay,
work
thanks.
for us because it's
Okay.
the Excellence in Education Awards.
Okay,
The banquet
okay,
is that night. The 26th would work.
Yeah, that's fine.
then say April 26th at
That's
6:30
fine.
PM.
That might be. What was the other? Was it the 27th an option or no?
I feel like we might go a little long. We have the Lions Club that meets here on the 27th. But I have an option of the 28th, but it's a Friday night. I don't know if any of you want to do it.
Did they meet downstairs?
We could meet downstairs. It is not ADA accessible, So, but we absolutely could.
Are we speaking in regards to the 27th possibly date still?
Yeah, what's your 27th look like?
27th is open for me. Yeah, 27th is open.
I'm fine.
Okay,
April 27th works better for me.
That's Thursday?
Thursday, April 27th
Okay.
at 6:30 PM will be our next meeting. All right. So does anyone else have anything?
I'd like to ask one or two questions if I could.
Please.
So, zooming in will be great. I'll be in Texas, April 27th, but I can zoom in. So I just want to tell you all that in advance. So I'm all about short meeting agendas, and I don't want to keep us here all night. I would be interested to know from Jamie, like what are your next steps, right? So I feel like we've got a logo, we're gonna have a website, we're gonna do the survey, stuff's getting going. I would love to know kind of where it's heading in terms of what we can be doing beyond saying, hey, fill out the survey. Is one of the steps in the process that Jamie's going to lead us through like a forum? I've heard somebody say a town hall. So I'd love some more direction on kind of where we see this heading, just if nothing else for my own enthusiasm.
Well, I think from my understanding from the initial conversations, and I use the word town hall, small group conversations, that's kind of my understanding of what was the goal. Upon the completion of this, like a series of town hall question. If town hall is not the right word, you all can choose it. I'm okay either way. But I think it's important to start the communication as to what's to come to the community, whether it be through your all's City of Kearney's website, Facebook pages, whatever, just to start getting the excitement as to what's to come. I think that's what we need to do right now, sooner rather than later. If we could just continue to get the message out. We want to invite those to come into the town hall. Wherever if that's at your church, if it's at the city hall, wherever we decided to be, just start making people feel like they're welcome, they're invited to come and share in a conversation. It's an open conversation for all. It's not exclusive to anyone. So just making sure that everyone does feel welcome to the environment. I think as a committee, we also need to talk collectively as to what does that night look like? What's that first night? What do we want it to look like? There's still some groundwork for that as a committee collectively to, and Adam, is it going to be at your church? I know you had offered it up for space because of size, but I don't know if we've identified where it's going to be. And I think if we haven't, we need to.
Yeah, I mean, we'd be all for that. If there's other places that would love to help too, that's certainly not something we want to monopolize.
Right. So I think let's maybe this evening kind of talk about what are the options to get, what we hope for be a good sized audience to come out for the evenings that we do, kick this off. I don't know what areas, what other places other than the school cafeteria I'm open to your all suggestions on that. But I think once we identify it, we need to start letting people know where it's going to be.
Well, I can tell you won't find any place cheaper than ours, baby.
I'm comfortable with being at the church just because then versus like the school cafeteria, I feel like, a sound system that people would be able to hear everybody in the back, or if there is. But other thoughts too. I know also I go there, so.
Well, and I also recognize not everybody
Right.
is maybe comfortable setting foot in a church or
Right.
whatever. So for us, it's about the little logistics. We're not going to be,
Yeah.
handing out stuff or anything like that.
Well, I know that was something that was discussed in the initial meetings as far as will people be comfortable meeting at the church? So, just again, I don't know what other options that has the same price point as what Adam mentioned, but
Well, the admin building.
Jamie, in your experience for communities like ours, what kind of turnout do you get for that kind of an event?
well, I mean, every community is different. I think those who are interested and those who are somewhat interested, you're going to get a mix. You're going to get a mixture of everyone. I mean, I think we need to plan for at least the first night a large amount to people because they're going to be wanting to know exactly what is the city of Kearney trying to accomplish and how does it impact them. So I think you're going to have a large, night one, you're going to have a large group, and then either people will self-select to continue to come into these meetings or self-select out. So I think I would say to answer that question, I would plan, just in my experience, the first night's always your largest night. So I think having that space to accommodate that in the event it does go to that route, I want to at least make sure that we don't exclude people because we don't have enough seating areas that can create a negative experience for what we're trying to accomplish as well.
So with that in mind, for instance, then the firehouse would not be big enough?
That could be pretty cramped.
I know Holiday Inn Express has a room that's big enough for like 75 people, but I don't know how many people you're talking about in a town of 10,000. Like, are you talking about 1,000 the first night or 100 the first night or?
I wouldn't say it. If we got 1,000, that's consider yourself lucky. But I mean, I would plan for at least a couple, maybe 100, maybe a little north of that number. Not everyone's going to be able to make the night we set the date on, but I would anticipate at least 100 plus people will show up for the first night.
And obviously the district supports this effort and we'll go out of our way to accommodate, but I do think, especially for the first meeting, I think it would be better to have a non-district site, in my opinion. I mean, we are trying to emphasize that this is a city initiative. And
Yeah.
I think it would be really easy for people to misperceive if it was to be a district site.
Maybe if they go to 3 meetings, maybe one of the meetings is on school property.
Yeah.
I think people would perceive it as they want parents instead of the whole community.
Right.
I will say, we do blood drives, we're a voting site. So this would not be out of the sphere of stuff we do with regularity in regards to like civic opportunities.
Right.
Again, people have a great experience at coming in the doors and voting and heading out. We can seat 280.
If it was on a non-weekend night, would we entertain the possibility of having it at Tobacco Barn Farm? It's a neutral location, it's non-institutional. I think that is an advantage. It feels warm. I think it feels like a space where people can have a conversation about things in a more congenial kind of atmosphere, less loaded, perhaps. It's an idea, it's a thought. Because that's another approach to this is, rather than having a more traditional sort of forum, you structure it more like a conversation, so maybe you have stations and people come in and can have conversations one-on-one, rather than it being a sort of a more kind of set and get kind of thing. It's, again, and maybe we do both, like maybe the first one is more of a traditional forum.
Well, yes, I think the goal was to maybe do both. Night one, we can talk about the why we're here. I think it's important to have the city represented. We have the school represented as far as people to speak, and then POAC represented as that third party liaison and kind of lay the grounds of the why. And then the next night or whenever that next session would be, I envision maybe smaller breakout sessions. That's kind of, I think that's where the details of deeper conversations will unfold, capturing, and we'll have facilitating of capturing some of the comments of that night of those small group conversations. But I think my vision would be first night, why are we even here? They just took a survey, they got it in the water bill, they got it in all their other platforms. We have to make sure we at least set that stage as to the why we're here. And I'd be open to suggestions as well, but what are your thoughts of that approach?
Would you have, try to come up with goals for what the people see for this committee?
Yeah, I think we most definitely, if we're going to take this time, we need to establish goals. We need to establish what does success look like? What do we want success to look like? And as a committee, I think, understanding that in itself is the most important thing of why we're spending all this time to, try to move the needle one way. So I think that's a communal conversation of this committee of what we want that to look like. So yes, to answer your question, Jennifer. And maybe between now and the next time is we take time to answer that question, and whether we send it back in an email, we're all on the same email link. We can create another Google form. I don't want to overcomplicate a simple ask, but I think we all should understand what does success look like, so we're all rowing in the same direction.
And how early do you think we could set the date of the town hall? Because, it would be nice, because every few weeks we see something come out on Facebook where people are talking about different incidents that have happened in Kearney. And it would be nice to be able to say, hey, there's gonna be a town forum that are addressing these topics, and how do we get better, and be able to give that date.
We're working on it and reassure them
Right.
that we're working. We
Right.
recognize it and we're working on it.
Right.
Yeah, I guess I'd be interested from you all in regards to I think in talking to Mayor Pogue in the very beginning there's going to be 4 series of town hall conversations, 4 sessions, and what the session, because we're going to be coming into the summer months, graduation, all those vacation, summer sports where parents are going to be pulled one way or the other. So I think between the first session and the start of school, if we're wanting to try to maybe go past August and into September, October, I don't want to do it fast. I want to do it right. And I think that's the key thing is if we're going to take this time, if we know summer's coming up, I think we can have maybe a kickoff session of information like we're doing now. School starts back in August. Is that the time that we want to try to reconvene in session 2? What are your all's thoughts as far as the busyness of life of what's going to take place anyway?
I think getting one in is attractive to me before school gets out. One of my biggest frustrations with all the committees I've always been on is that things move slowly. And I appreciate everybody taking their time and wanting to do their best. But I feel like this is something that needs to go forward as quickly as possible.
So if I can suggest, sometimes when I'm in a process like this, I like to work backwards. So we have a very useful driving document, which is the resolution that formed the committee. And so, in my opinion, the key words here are our desired outcome as a committee is to basically create a strategic plan for the city to create what's the exact phrase here? How to create a safe, welcoming, and supportive community atmosphere within the city of Kearney. So I think our outcome is, at some point, we want to present a plan to the city council that we believe will help achieve that outcome. So I think if we decide, then when do we want to present something to the city council? And then work backwards. So if the idea is like, okay, we want to present something to the city council at the August meeting or whatever it is, then we just kind of, then we can sort of map out what are our waypoints, what are our navigation points to get there, right? And so that may be 3 meetings, I mean, or whatever, but you know, for something like this, I would suggest you would probably need at least, I would say you probably need, I mean, for community input meeting, probably 3 is what you want, I would imagine. Yeah, and then maybe a 4th one where you're sort of presenting it to the community before finally presenting it to the, whatever your final draft is, to the city council or the board of aldermen, pardon me.
When does the Board of Aldermen meet? What?
The first and the third Monday of every month, unless it's a holiday, and then they meet on Tuesday. So there's not every week that you can.
And are you at the same time suggesting, Ray, that we present this to other groups besides just the Board of
Well,
Aldermen?
I guess that's what I'm
Okay.
and maybe I misinterpreted it, but I'm suggesting that the work we're doing, from my interpretation, that should be the outcome, is that we're gathering input on, as we create a plan that will address the commission that we've been given by the city, right? And then have something that we can present to the Board of Aldermen as, we've talked to the community, we've developed a plan, we believe this will help address and help enhance our community for everyone, and here it is, right? So that, because then you start having, this is in response to what Adam was saying, right? I mean, I appreciate your question, because it's the idea of why are we doing this? Why are we doing what we're doing?
Yeah, based on what Jamie said, I wrote down to facilitate open conversations for all, working toward encouraging and promoting a safe, welcoming, and supportive community. Based on what Jamie said and then what I read in here. And if folks are like, why are you gonna do that? Well, we're gonna start by hosting 4 community forums. Oh, okay. Then I could be like, check out the website, peep the logo, right? So I feel like I've got enough to go on from a telos or from a begin with the end in mind perspective. I at least feel like I can tell my folks, now, what'd you go to the other night? So I feel like we've got more, I've got more than enough to work with there. I'm curious as to if you guys feel the same.
I do, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I think the ultimate goal is this, and it's very similar, is that, you know, through these small group conversations, the community is going to create the action plan based upon the time that we meet, the conversations that we have. We're going to have flip charts. We'll jot down thoughts and ideas, but you know, the end game is to, once we complete our time together, and it has to be an ongoing, it's not a one and done type thing. Let's keep this in mind. But the voices of the community, the answers of this survey, all those things that we work together with these groups that show up, they're going to create the outcome. They're going to create the solutions because they're also the ones that has the skin in the game. They live there every single day. So we have to be in tune to what's being said. But there's going to be some healthy dialogue in those conversations that we need to listen very closely to. But upon the conclusion of the evening, there's going to be only about 4 to 5 takeaways that we're going to mark. You can't have 30 things and try to measure success. We need to narrow the focus as to what are the key things. If these key things happen, whether it's 3 or 5, obviously there's going to be a lot of others that you manage, but these are the 3 to 5 things that are important to our community, that if we're doing these things consistently, changing these behaviors consistently, success has been met. So that's kind of where, when we do a lot of, corporate trainings, school trainings, I mean, you can have 50 ideas thrown out, but we'll narrow the focus down to a few that if these 3 or 5 things happen, then we can at least come back as a committee and put up our pillars of what we want them to be and ask the question, how are we doing in this pillar, or this pillar? What changes are we seeing? And I think that's going to allow us to work more effectively, efficiently, and see the change that we're hoping to see in the community that you all live and serve in every day.
So eventually, our work is really the synthesis of all the inputs from the community, and that forms what you present to the alderman, who is really our umbrella or our parent arm of the city. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm new to all the machinations of
Well,
city stuff.
And the thing is, the word that I'll say that oftentimes a lot of people don't like is the word accountability. When it's your words, you're more accountable. It's one thing when we go into schools and we work with businesses and schools or whatever, we do the same exercise with students. And therefore, when the students come up with the game plan, now the leadership of the schools can reinforce, time out, this is what you said you guys wanted to do. Why aren't we doing it? Because you're going to have that as well. So, we're just trying to create an accountability roadmap for the community to come back through sessions like this, and just really put up on a PowerPoint presentation and we can ask the question, how are we doing or how are we not doing it? If we're not doing it well, why do we feel like that's not the case? Keep it simple. Do not overcomplicate this because it does not have to be overcomplicated.
Jimmy, how do you see the work between, as you know, the school has been trying to work on some of this for a while, and we say this is, we have not just school issues, we have community issue. So how does the community, the city, work in conjunction with the school? How do you see that happening?
Well, I think what we're talking about right now, the communication plan that we're creating as to what's that after the survey, we have to really be very strategic and to make sure that the community at large realize there's no hidden agenda. The agenda is to make it right for all. And I think communicating that up front, being transparent throughout the process as we are here, our ultimate goal is to get it right and identifying what right looks like for all. So that's the reason why I think having school represented, city represented, when we have that initial conversation, that they see the alignment between the two. And that's where the work starts. As long as they see alignment and consistent alignment, Jennifer, I know that there are going to be those who will have that fixed mindset of thought. I get it. But also I understand there's those who have that open-mindedness to growth of what we're trying to accomplish as well. So we'll work with and address as they come, because this is new. There's a lot of unknowns to what we're trying to accomplish in your community. So we have to just be realistic and expect that from the school side as well as the community side too.
Well, I'm gonna kind of go back to what Ray was saying with setting an end date. I mean, I just looked at the resolution, so we were kind of officially formed like February 6th. And I know we're kind of like inventing, really working on figuring out the goals and everything. But I mean, I would think we want to present our plan to the council within a year. I mean, I don't want to go past February with this. And so I do think we need to kind of work backwards, like when do we need our first meeting with our first town hall? Does everybody think like a year is, we should have a plan, we should have had our meetings within a year?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you guys want to say a lot earlier, that's fine. I don't want to go further than that. That would be my max.
I would agree with that 100%. 100%.
But then, so then would it be trying to get a meeting this spring, and then one this summer? Like, how far out are we spacing these meetings? Is it just a couple weeks? Is it a month?
Well, and that's kind of the question I was also trying to get at too, is knowing that we're coming into spring, summer, I would like to get a first meeting before school ends this calendar year, which is
26.
May 26th.
Maybe.
so May 26th is when school's out. Is that what you said?
I believe so, let me double check. Yes.
So how about May 3rd?
Well, we don't see the draft until the 27th. That's going to be hard.
Yeah.
Or we don't have our meeting till the 27th. I think we might have to close it earlier than April 10th if we want to do that.
How about the week of the 8th? Does that give us enough time?
May 8th?
No, just that week of the 8th.
Okay.
Because school's when now?
It's out the 27th.
Yeah, you could go ahead a week.
So then we would have all the data and have had our meeting on like the 27th, and then kind of in 10 days, we would have our first. Is that going to give us enough time to make sure our first meeting is, I don't really know who's running the first meeting. Is it like, Jamie, do you guys do that?
Well, I think the first meeting needs to be introduction of who we are to the community, one. So I don't necessarily feel like, I think I have to run the meeting. I think collectively we have a committee for a reason. I think we can have, whether we have a panelist of, with very similar to a school board forum, I would say. And, but I mean, if you think that we need to lead that charge, I'm okay leading that charge as well, because a lot of people are going to want to understand and know, well, who is this organization? So, so I'm okay either way.
Okay, let me talk a little bit about sunshine law and like restrictions, just because we are a government city committee. So you guys are subject to all of the Missouri Sunshine Law, just like the Board of Aldermen is. And so some of the things that means is that everything that we have to do has to be out in the open, so that citizens have a right, except in very few limited circumstances, and this wouldn't be one of them, to know everything that their taxpayers' dollars in a city are funding. And so one of those things is, like, I'm kind of freaking out, but I think it's going to be good. I love the conversation, because I didn't put on the agenda like other business. I learned I will be putting that on there, but like, we can't actually make decisions that we didn't tell the citizens that we were going to make, because if they wanted to look and they said, oh, I wanted to hear what decision you guys are making, they are able to come and participate in a meeting. So you guys are a public body, and also that means that you can't meet, like a quorum of you can't meet to discuss any of this stuff outside of noticing the meeting and telling the citizens what you're gonna talk about. I know, it's crazy, I'm sorry, but it's super good if you're a citizen and you have some rogue government people doing stuff that you deserve to know about. And so I also understand efficiency and speed, but government in itself is designed to not be speedy and efficient. It's really designed to be slow and inefficient because its main function is that everybody is following the rules, so that all the citizens can always know what is going on. It's so different. So Jamie, like, you can't send an email to the committee to talk about like your presentation, we can't do that. We can't make decisions based on emails. You can send out information, like you could just send out information, but we have to be really careful about replying to email chains because once we start making decisions, now we're violating the Sunshine Law.
And just for the record, Jamie did not do that, so.
No, you did not, but you were talking about like, oh, well, I could send another surveyor. So just, and I know, like, it's hard. I've been doing government stuff for like 20 years, so I'm used to it. And I'm remembering back to when I first started and being like, I just asked you something, why are you not answering my question and telling me that I have to come back? And the other thing is the board also, like, I can send out information, but they can't give me feedback. I did during city administrator's comments at last night's meeting, kind of just say, here's the committee met then, they're gonna meet again tomorrow, here's what they're deciding. I gave you gave them the survey draft and the logo to kind of keep them in the know. They didn't take a decision, but I actually noticed that I was gonna be talking about the Spirit Committee on the agenda in case a citizen cared. And you can see nobody came to our meeting except for us. But that's not the point. The point is that we are doing it so that if a citizen wants to. And so it's just a little bit different. I totally hear about like, how are we gonna get this before the end of school? And we have to somehow, like, I have to have time after we meet to kind of share that information with the board, but I have to share it in public, which means that I'm gonna have to share it at one of our meetings, at least just say, so that if a citizen wants to know about it and they hear about me talking it, they can do a sunshine request and say, well, but what packet did you lay out for the board?
Okay.
So you're saying we can't make decisions unless it's been on an agenda, but how do you
With
arrive?
24 hours notice.
How do you arrive at a decision in which you don't know the course of the like, I just don't, like, we gotta leapfrog this thing every time?
I mean,
Because you have to allow the time, isn't that what you're saying?
yeah, so I'm gonna have to like say that we're gonna set the meeting dates and times of the agendas. Like, that will be something that you guys make a decision on. And the citizens, like, we have to post an agenda.
So you're just like, on our next one, you're gonna have to say deciding on forum dates. Is that right? And then we can make a decision on it.
Can you
Okay.
put broad statements in, like,
Correct.
we'll be making
I can,
decisions
I
as they
can.
relate to future plans of,
yes, and I
So we need to
will
do
in
that.
the future, because I,
like, every time.
yes.
Every time, yeah.
Yes.
Copy, yeah.
Because I already see,
Because it's
like,
what we do.
this is more of a, like, the whole purpose of it. And I had a long conversation with our city attorney about, like, seriously, you're gonna make me have them do motions in seconds? Because it's not really that kind of group. And he's like, yes, it is. You have to do this.
That's fine.
And I'll let you have some leeway, but like, for the most part, you have to run it like any city meeting.
Okay.
Is there rules
Okay.
to how many times a month we can meet?
No,
So,
We just have to post and we have to give at least 24 hours notice unless it's an emergency.
so can we
And I can't
post
imagine
another
we
one
would
and
have
have,
one.
even if not everyone can come, another short meeting to set those dates that we're
Yeah.
talking about?
So you're telling me we can't set dates now, even though we're able to?
We can
No.
come back in
Correct.
24 hours.
Because, yeah, we could come back in 24
Well,
hours.
here's some dates we can set. I mean, I understand, but I'm just trying to figure out,
You
okay,
can come up
when is
with
this going, when is
some
this survey
ideas.
going out? Tell me that again, I'm sorry.
So the water bills go out around the 20th of the month.
So the surveys are gonna go out March 20th. And we are going to close that April 10th, right? And then he's gonna tell us information on April 27th. So do we want a meeting before that, April 27th, or not? Or do we want to wait till we have all that? I mean, if that meeting could be us setting the dates. I mean.
Is that enough time?
Even if we don't have the information yet, which, but,
I mean, last time we had logo discussion and then approved it tonight. So can we have date discussion tonight and approve it at the 27th? Does that work?
I don't think
Can
so.
we
'Cause
do
it's not on
I
there.
mean, we already
not
are,
on here.
right? You're
Yeah, we already are,
Yeah.
We're gonna have this discussion over again.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
I know.
We all,
yeah.
I think one thing, I think we better all brush up on the sunshine law and
Yeah.
make sure, because I
Well, I'll take it.
myself will, because, I mean,
Sure.
I have, but I think I need to brush up again, just to make certain that we're staying in that, because then we're putting you in a situation, and because we don't know,
Yeah, I get it.
so,
Well, I'm trying to keep you on track.
well, we appreciate that.
And you're doing a great
Because we
job.
wanna make sure we're
Yeah.
doing what we're supposed to be doing.
But I also see the contempt and confusion of
Yeah.
why.
Well, we're all learning, I think, and
I feel much better about my organization, frankly, at the rate we do things. I'm on cloud nine.
so,
You're a good sport.
I mean, I also know that we don't want a meeting every week because we all have kids and things outside of this. So, I mean, do we want to try to meet April 7th to have this very important discussion? And I know he won't, Jamie, I know you won't have all the data compiled by then, but we can work on that. And so then at our next meeting on the 27th, we can approve the dates? Am I doing that correctly? April 7th, we could talk
If
about?
I post it, you can
Yeah.
pick date, you can talk about dates and pick
Oh,
them.
on the 27th, okay, I see.
Or like whenever you meet again, as long as I put it on the agenda. I don't want you to pick dates tonight because I did not post about it.
I just wonder if waiting until April 27th to set the date will be too
Right,
late.
right,
Mm,
it would
that's
be
why
too late, I
I
think,
suggested
if we
that.
want to have it
Right.
before May 26th.
Right.
I think we just call it date night.
Date night,
Yeah, set the dates. It's date night.
So what date was that again?
And it doesn't have to be long, like,
Mhm.
and we could, if you guys really wanted to do it, we could all do it via Zoom
Okay.
Okay,
Okay,
there we go.
why
for,
don't we do
for
that?
the date night.
Can we do that in the month of March?
You can.
Because if our sincere but not yet official target is May, I mean, we need to probably
That's
have that
right.
in our minds sooner rather than later, right?
yes,
Uh-huh.
So,
Like the 22nd, 23rd?
I'm out of town.
I honestly would, so there is a board meeting on the 20th, and it would be amazing if I could say something on the 20th at the Board of Aldermen meeting about the date. So if you guys could meet prior to that.
via Zoom, the week of March 13th, is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
I think
Next week.
I
Yep.
could the 14th
Okay.
or the 16th. Any night but the 15th.
16th?
I can do any of those.
Zoom, 16th, is that date night? Is that what we're calling it? Is that
That's what we're
code?
calling it now.
So we have a planning and zoning meeting on the 13th, and the reason that matters is because they'll be using the city's Zoom.
Are we talking about Thursday the 16th?
That's what I thought.
Would the 16th work?
The 16th is a special road district meeting. Would anyone be able to do it on the 14th?
Yes.
Yes.
Is this
Would
Zoom?
anyone not be able
On
to do it on the 14th?
I can do it on Zoom.
I will not be able to do it just because I have my board meeting.
Would
So,
you need, if I communicated through the minutes of when the dates would be, or
That would be
just to
great.
you, because you're not a
Yes.
quorum, like,
Yes.
although my question is, can you give us dates that you are not available so that we don't pick a date that you would be available? You can
And
send that to me. You can send that to me separately.
okay,
Okay? You don't have to do it right now.
okay.
Your whole calendar for the next year and a half.
You're asking the wrong
we-
one. Normally my team
What
manages
dates
my
are we
calendar.
What dates are we gonna be picking? Like multiple meetings? Or are you guys just picking the first meeting date?
I think we need to focus on the first meeting date.
Yeah, let's just do the
Okay.
first.
So it's hard to really,
I
it's
wanna
hard to
make sure
pick
I
multiple
noticed the
dates.
right thing.
One step at a time.
But then will we go through the struggle, resetting it every single time? I don't want to
I
do
mean, I
that.
would keep it open.
You mean you didn't have fun?
Give ourselves the leeway to be able to at least pencil in some future dates.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm gonna be really generic with your guys' agenda.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't restrict us.
Yeah.
We,
I'm gonna ask if I can just write other business and let you guys talk about whatever the heck you want, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get a no.
well, that's okay. Well, we can give you
You
general
can
things.
talk about it, but no decisions could be made unless we actually to say what we're gonna,
Right.
Okay,
the topic.
okay.
Okay, so, on March 14th at 6:30 PM via Zoom.
Okay.
Ryan, if you're not available, you can teach me how to record the Zoom meeting and I could run it for us, maybe.
I am certainly available for you.
Okay, thank you. And so, anything else you guys want to talk about besides dates that I should put on this agenda?
I think that's good.
Place,
Yeah, places, we're gonna be discussing places, maybe places.
Yeah, locations.
Dates, locations.
Date, location, content, I'm trying to think of
Yeah, we want to make this
everything we need to put
official.
on there.
Yeah, date, location.
Agenda, content, individuals responsible for content,
Yeah, yeah, that's big.
Yeah.
food served, weather forecast.
It's all set.
Just as
Yeah,
there we go.
I love it. Weather. That's right.
how about if I just say future community meetings?
Okay.
Okay.
We appreciate the scenario you're helping us
Yeah.
fit into the parameters of.
Someday you are gonna love the sunshine law so much,
That's
and
right.
you're gonna come back and say, Sheila,
Oh, you can
I
call me,
understand it
you can
now.
call me Mr. Sunshine.
That is your nickname, yeah, that's it now. Oh.
Okay. All right, so
Okay,
are we,
Week from tonight, right?
March 14th,
Zoom.
Zoom.
Zoom,
What you're gonna provide me notes from the minutes, right, Sheila?
detailed notes. from the
Detailed
Zoom.
notes.
Oh,
Yeah,
Sheila, you're gonna send out a calendar invite?
I have to post our meeting
Okay.
that people will not be able to Zoom into, but they will be able to watch us live via YouTube.
Okay.
So at the next physical meeting, you can bring chips and sauce.
Yeah, that'll make everything smoother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get better turnout if my man is bringing food.
So we're gonna have a March 14th Zoom only, and then unless you guys decide other than that, we'll have, the next meeting will be Thursday, April 27th.
Okay.
Okay,
Mhm, yes.
Sounds good.
fantastic.
But you'll email a Zoom link out.
I will, a private one to each of you. individually, so I don't violate the sunshine law.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I think I can do it all over.
Oh my.
It's a Zoom link, it's not a decision.
Oh, Lord.
Okay.
It's very cool to be in a high commitment group. You know, let's come again next week, and we'll do the 27th of April, so we can get something going in May. It's very cool to get the momentum going.
Right,
It's very good.
it really is.
Sorry to slow it down a bit.
No,
Now we're-
not.
no,
now
we're doing
calling
things
them
in the
date
right.
nights, too.
That's
There
right.
you
We'll get things in the right order.
Whatever it takes.
Okay. Are we good to adjourn the meeting then? Okay, I
Yes.
make the motion.
To adjourn.
To adjourn.
I second it.
Yes.
All right, all in
Okay.
favor?
Aye.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, all right, we're good.
Bye.
Yes.
Thank you, Ryan.